In March of this year, I was diagnosed with third stage oral cancer, and I'm here today to give you the glory story of God's provision and all the miracles that took place in my life just since March of 2019. It was in April of last year that my wife Claudia and I moved to the desert and began to attend JPL. And we were very moved by Pastor Steve's sermons. And of course, I had just found out that I had cancer. So I went to, I believe it was the second service that we had come to. And we went up at the end of the service to have prayer for my affliction. And it was such a powerful prayer because many, at least half of the prayer people up front came and laid their hands on me and prayed for my healing. And then later on at another location, I was also prayed again for by the prayer partners here at JPL. And what began immediately after that, of course, I was praying and my wife and I were praying, and just shortly after I found out about it, I discovered that the doctors who had been assigned to me were not only some of the best in the state. I had 3 actual doctors attending, but they were not only the best, but they were stated to be the best in the country. And yet I had not even asked for them or even knew who they were, but God answered a prayer that we would have the best doctors. And then as I progressed and started to get my chemo, that first night before my chemo, I prayed to God because I was frankly scared because I heard a lot about all of the horrible things that people go through. And He gave me an acronym for the word chemo, and it means Christ Himself empowering me onward, which spells chemo. So I began to use that as my prayer every day driving to my treatment. I would say, Christ Himself empower me onward. And when I got to the treatment center, I found myself energized and supercharged really with God's power in me. When the nurse would ask me how I'm doing, I would say, every day I'm getting better. And as I would say that, my words would echo into the treatment center, and people would smile and turn their heads and see what was that this person was saying. So Christ impacted just through that simple teaching, or that word about chemo, using it instead of a negative, using it for power. So the good news is, over my 3 months of treatment, then finally September 16th, the doctor announced that I was cancer-free. So all through this time, the people here at JPL were praying for me and all my family members. So I just want to give glory to God for now my healing. And He's moving us on into a ministry where we're going to be ministering to families and individuals who have been afflicted with cancer. So we want to thank Pastor Steve and all of the prayer partners and the prayer warriors here at JPL, and especially Doug and Verna Watson, and especially my wife Claudia, for this wonderful glory story of God's miraculous way of answering our prayers and healing my body. This is Bill Packard, and I'm destined for victory.